Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking Denver Nuggets. They're one of the most underrated teams in the entire league, and they actually had, in my opinion, they had a phenomenal offseason. I think they genuinely had a phenomenal offseason. Bruce Brown is the type of basketball player that every single... Dude, this is the second straight video, one of these damn... First of all, how are these little gnats getting down here? But they love this little light I got right here. Anyways... The Denver Nuggets have one of the best, you have one of the best players, obviously, in the league, in Nikola Jokic. But you had one of the best signings of the offseason in Bruce Brown Jr. You also had a great move in getting KCP over. And you also had a good draft pick at 21 from Kansas at Christian Braun. So their biggest issue heading into this offseason was perimeter defense. And with Bruce Brown and KCP, not only did you get phenomenal defenders, you also got guys who aren't terrible on the offensive end. So I look at KCP, I look at Bruce Brown going to Denver. I feel like this will be one of the more just low-key, it's what I view Josh Hart with Portland. It's just one of those moves where it's like, you probably won't realize it until we get to the playoffs next season and people finally are like, damn, dude, when they get KCP and Bruce Brown, this is a good basketball team. It might be too late by the time other teams figure this one out, because KCP, plus 40% three-point shooter, still an above-average defender. Bruce Brown Jr., you got, he's on a phenomenal deal, by the way. 2 years, $13.3 million. He is a workhorse. What he does is, it just, I can't think of the word where it just spreads. It's infectious. He's infectious, but that just sounds like the wrong word choice. The energy he puts out onto the court is transferred and is shared across his competitor or his opponents. I got the fly. I think. I hope. Point is this. All right, the Denver Nuggets, with or without these moves, were going to be good or not. All right, Nikola Jokic is one of the best players in the entire league, obviously coming back on back-to-back MVPs. There is a legitimate argument that you can make that he's the best player in basketball. You have Michael Porter Jr., who is, by the way, a walking bucket. I don't know if people need to be reminded of this, if they need to see it happen again. I don't know what the deal is, but Michael Porter Jr. is one of the best pure scorers in the NBA. And Jamal Murray. I was watching the bubble highlights a couple of days ago, and that's why I'm really making this Nuggets video right now. So watching the bubble highlights, and, the Nuggets in general did phenomenal, right? Making it to the Western Conference Finals, losing to the Lake Show. Jamal Murray, the man is just everything you want in a point guard for your organization. Jamal Murray is that guy. And I think that Jamal Murray being out for the time he was out, I think it gave him it's almost similar to Michael Porter Jr., but at a higher level, where it's just, I think people forgot. I think people just genuinely forgot. It's very similar, in my opinion, to Damian Lillard. I think people just forgot how good Dame is. I think people just forgot how good Jamal Murray is. These guys alone can win basketball games. We've seen Jamal Murray win basketball games. And so Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., and Nikola Jokic, that's one of the best big threes in the league, let alone the Western Conference. But you have an Aaron Gordon, something that they were lacking. They haven't been healthy in a very long, or fully healthy in a very long time. You have Aaron Gordon, who's 15, 6, 3 assists per game. Defensively, he is absolutely a stud. He's just a solid two-way athletic beast to have. And now you have KCP, 13-point-per-game scorer, always consistent, above-average defender, shooting over 40% from downtown, great catch-and-shoot three-point shooter. That's one hell of a starting five. And so you could pose the issue. You could be like, all right, like you could have last year or the last time the Nuggets were healthy. What about perimeter defense, man? Well, I'll tell you a thing or two about perimeter defense right now. And the answer to that question is Bruce Brown Jr. That's how good Bruce Brown Jr. is. I feel like he got overshadowed in Brooklyn with their big three. And once James Harden got traded away and the Ben Simmons fiasco, debacle, whatever you want to call it, was going on, it was like, I know, maybe this is, I don't want to speak for everybody, but for myself, I wasn't watching the Brooklyn Nets that often. But when I did, you'd see Bruce Brown really make that impact. So Bruce Brown is just he's somebody you want on your basketball team. You don't want to go against Bruce Brown. You want him on your team. He's not as annoying as Patrick Beverley. Like, maybe that's more trash talking related, but like Bruce Brown, dude, he's a menace. You also have Bones Highland, who is a very enticing player, very enticing young player. He can get you a bucket. We've seen him heat up countless times. You also got Ish Smith backing him up. You got Jeff Green, who's solid. You got Zeke Naji, who's an enticing young player. DeAndre Jordan, I was very confused at first by the DeAndre Jordan move, but apparently he's one hell of an off-season guy. Apparently DeAndre Jordan is one hell of a locker room asset. Like, apparently he is just a phenomenal locker room asset to have. Just a good veteran beast of a leader to have on your squad. Very respected, well-deserving. Obviously, he had a very successful NBA career. As far as impact goes, I'm expecting zero things. You also have got guys like Devon Reed. I mean, this is just a pretty deep team. They're just a pretty deep team. And like I said, Christian Braun drafted 21 out of Kansas. I know my boy Sirio is big on him. So this is just, it goes, I mean, even guys like, I get excited about Peyton Watson. I don't know if other people feel the same outside of Nuggets fans. But, like, it's just a cool-ass team, man. It's a cool-ass team. And, you know, I remember watching that bubble being like, damn, like Denver, you know, that's cool. I haven't seen that in a long time. When I first started getting into basketball, it was just after the Melo days. So I never really got that glimpse of, like, man, those jerseys were so slick. That team in 2K was so slick. From what I've seen, that team was so slick. Like, that was slick, dude. It was just a cool time for the Denver Nuggets, is my guess, because that's my opinion of it. So, like, maybe you go out there and you bring Melo back, but either way, watching Denver Nugget basketball is just cool. You know, it's just cool. I know Denver is not like the smallest city in the world, but it's not a New York City. You know, it's just nice. It's nice spreading it around. So, and I'm not trying to disrespect the Denver Nuggets in any way, shape, or form. I apologize if it came off that way, because I'm definitely not trying to do that. So that's it for today, man. Go ahead, drop some comments down below. What are your thoughts on the Denver Nuggets this upcoming season? What I want you guys to go do, if you feel inclined, I'm not forcing you. If you feel inclined, go ahead, drop a comment down below. When the season's over, where did the Denver Nuggets finish? Peace.